So we are live now. So, oh, look at that. You just as you're drinking. My God, what are you drinking out of? What is that?
It's a large jam jar.
There. Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
There are people joining the live stream now going, these boys have been having a conversation in private and we've just joined halfway through.
I know. I need you to chat because I'm going to go and check to see if I'm actually live on YouTube. I don't know if it's going to get some weird feedback loop, but so just
All right.
talk. Why,
I will just talk.
Roger?
Well, I will
Why don't you
welcome.
introduce yourself?
Why don't I introduce myself? I should do. My name is Roger Overall, and I am a storyteller. I'm based in Ireland. Best place to be a storyteller, really. And Paul and I have made a film together. I filmed Paul, goodness, about a year ago, exactly a year ago by date. No, not exactly a year ago by date, because it was your birthday. Are we allowed to reveal that it was on your birthday?
Yeah, you can.
No, it was on Paul's. It was on Paul's birthday, about a year ago, when Paul was doing his Trial of Staden plog around the Netherlands, in which he ran a marathon or more for every single day in the month of May, picking up litter, and he visited every provincial capital in the Netherlands, and also got lost in Belgium. So I'm sure he'll reveal why he went to Belgium later on in the chat. Who knows? So we've just released the little film that we did together. It's a bit of fun. There is a purpose behind it. There's a purpose for releasing it now. There's a purpose for highlighting what Paul did last year on his big adventure, because there's a big adventure coming up this year, which I think you're allowed to talk about, aren't you, Paul?
Yeah, I can talk about.
That now.
I want to.
Yeah.
We can talk about that at the end. I'd rather talk
Yeah.
about sort of this because it's literally been a year in the making, and the whole history behind it was a nightmare. So
This sounds like I was a nightmare. Roger's terrible to work with. Yeah,
no,
Paul.
oh
Oh my
gosh,
God.
no.
As Paul is talent. I did describe it, by the way. That the script went out the window the moment we started filming. The talent kept running away on the day of filming, and the whole place was covered in litter for the whole day. Now that is pretty much an accurate description of what happened when we did film. But what you're alluding to, I think, is that you and I had been working towards filming together. And I was going to come over to the Netherlands to spend a day with you. And it coincided with just fortuitous that I was coming to the Netherlands anyway. And we wrote a script. I think we spent, I don't know, 3 months writing this script, sending it to and fro, imagining the situations that we could film Paul in. And I had a character, and there was Paul had a character. It was just going to be this most amazing thing where a very skeptical journalist was going to follow Paul. And we had a lovely script, and I'd actually plotted out about 40 locations along the route, because Paul, you knew what your route was going to be that day. You knew what your route was going to be every day, in fact, except for the day you got lost in Belgium.
All right. How many times? Okay, we need a little counter coming up. How many times you're going to mention that?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's just anyway. Look, aside from the fact that Paul got lost in Belgium, so I'd mapped out 40 locations where we could film during the day that it would be possible to film. I got my brother, who was driving a car, so we could get to locations. I was following on a bicycle. I ran part of the day with Paul as well. Anyway, long story short, we had a script, and I think within 2 minutes of the day starting, it became very clear that the script was not going to happen. So, that was
mainly because I kept on telling you, like saying it's going to be fantastic because there's not going to be any, it was just coincidentally on my birthday, but I was just like saying no one's going to be there. It's literally going to be the whole day, us on our own. And then the whole day, there was not one moment when we were on our own. What was it? It was just like
fantastic. I think just the last couple of kilometers coming into Eindhoven, I think we were on our own then.
Yeah.
But other than that,
no,
not even then.
No, because Marika was there.
Oh,
so
no, you're
yeah,
right.
we had the
Heart
Runner Girl.
Yes.
So
Girl was there.
Yeah. So she was there for the whole time. There was literally not one moment, and I think that was actually the biggest shock for the whole of the 31 days was the fact that there was I never genuinely never expected anyone to join me. I was like hoping I was hoping I would get people coming to the cleanup events that I was doing in the mornings, and then I was like thinking I'd run. Yeah, I always like said, hey, look, come and come and join me at any stage. But and I had live tracking, but I never expected. I expected maybe every now and then someone would come and join me, but it was really every time it just knocked me back. I mean, I'd be going through Richard, who is on the film, who actually shares the same birthday as me. So it was his birthday yesterday as well. Happy birthday, Richard. So he, there was one time I'm literally in the middle of nowhere, and then he just rocks up. I was having like lunch somewhere, and then he just shows up, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It's the other side of the country at a random point, and people just showed up, and that happened throughout the whole event. And this was, this because it was my birthday. I think people just genuinely just were, well, they were amazing. They just showed. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, there was like cake and
I was going to
everything.
say there was cake and everything, and yeah, it was pretty impressive actually. I mean, for all the reasons, if you think about it, for all the reasons for a script to have to basically be put in the litter bin immediately, that's probably the greatest reason of all. There were just too many people on set who wanted to join you for the day and who wanted to spend time with you and plug
Yeah.
with you. I mean,
I,
I can't imagine a better reason.
I know, and I think So I mean, basically, you had to. I mean, I had no involvement in it. I was like, because I just had people around me the whole time. I couldn't even talk to you really, and like, okay, how are we going to do this? There was a case. I think there was that bit of footage that you sort of showed in your preview on LinkedIn with sort of the color of the banana suit. I mean, I think that was one of the few times when we actually had a moment's piece to say something, and I don't even know how we managed to cram that in.
No, and especially because, and what strikes me from that, and if you, and I will put it up, it's on my LinkedIn, but I'll try and put it up on YouTube as well, because if anybody listening to this, viewing this, you should really see it, because it's marvelous to think that Paul had run the best part of 40 kilometers. I think we did this not too far away from the finish line in Eindhoven for that day. And you are coherent and able to pull together a really brilliant improvisational performance. And the segment that I put up, you actually managed to finish off with a punchline and a joke and everything. It was quite remarkable. Because I was wrecked. I'd cycled most of the day. I think I ran 10, 12 kilometers, that, nothing super special compared to what you were doing. And the rest was all on a bicycle. Yet you were the one who were still able to run at the end of the day. And I was in bits. I mean, I was broken. So
I was broken as well, because the problem is that everyone that came to join me, they were all on fresh legs, and I'm like holding on for dear life. So I mean, I was falling apart. I was like, hey, oh, I'm so glad you joined. I'm like in a dialogue was going, oh, for God's sakes, how bloody quick do they need to run?
Yes, slow down.
Could they not slow down? Could they not slow down? Oh, thank God, there's someone to talk to.
Yes. It's well, that was it. Yes. Oh, there's a child, and there's somebody to.
Oh, there's a child. Let me go and visit them.
Yeah, let me go visit them, because people might sort of think, well, why has Roger mentioned children? But of course, you are relatively well known among the youth and young people in the Netherlands, because you've been on Jeugdjournaal quite a bit at the time, which is like a news round for children. So your profile among children was, you'd run past children and they'd all be pointing at you, and the parents would be looking at you sort of.
That was the most amazing thing. The thing that for me was the most, was one of the most special things, is the fact that I had, my goal was to get national attention, to get sort of, I didn't plan the route, but the route actually lent itself to being on all the local media. And so what you really saw how it worked. You really saw that, okay, I'm running into this different province in the Netherlands, and no one knew me in that province, and so I wasn't getting any attention. But then through some work with some sort of amazing people who sort of were just volunteering and sort of contacting all these places. Suddenly I'm on a radio show in the morning, and then suddenly all these cars going past were tooting at me, and it was amazing. And Yosha now, sort of the like you said, the children's news round from the old days, that was amazing. Got that in the first week, and literally that day, after it had shown, the children started to appear, and I never stopped really running or walk. I never walked because I didn't need to. I could, all my stops and my pauses were because there was another child or someone that wanted to take a selfie with me. It was amazing. I just couldn't get over it, and it happened from after that first week. It was all the way through, and now today I ran past a football field here, and there are kids going, "Hey, Banana Man!" The coach, the father coach is like shouting out "Banana Man." I'm just in regular clothes, just running next to the football pitch, and everyone's shouting out "Banana Man" still at me. So yeah, you just sort of see how the impact of children's TV really can work, and it's such a brilliant institution as well. It's amazing.
Because I think even on that one day, I heard you being interviewed on national radio, driving to Den Bosch to meet you, and then I think throughout the day, there was somebody in Den Bosch, there was somebody in Noonan, there was somebody along the side of the road. I think as we were coming close to Eindhoven, it was quite remarkable. Every moment I thought, okay, now we've got time. No, the press would turn up and hog all your minutes. It was quite astonishing.
And you've actually got a clip of it about me standing next to a statue. I don't know if you remember that. That was. Yes. I'm still traumatized by that, because he was like saying to me, climb up onto the statue, and I was like going, dude, I've literally run 1,000 kilometers. I cannot lift up my leg 1 foot. I cannot. I was like having to convince him. So I said, yeah, just hop up onto the statue, and I had to convince him, can I not just touch it or something?
Yeah. Well, you say that, but I remember as we came into Eindhoven, we passed through that tunnel, that subway under Road Junction, and there was John Cleese, Monty Python's The Ministry of Silly Walks, and I was astonished you were able to even attempt, because it was so close to the finish, and I thought, we've got to do something with this. And I was astonished that you agreed. Well, astonished you didn't slap me for suggesting it. Then you agreed to do it, and then you did it. And it's like, how is your body still able to do that?
But then I got cramp. Didn't I get cramp straight away? I mean,
well, it possibly, yeah. Gosh, can you imagine if that had been the end of your adventure?
And
that would not have gone down well.
Yeah, that was really my fear all the way through the whole adventure, was the fact that it only takes one trip, or it only takes one minor accident, and then the whole thing's finished. And it wasn't a case of, because it was going through, I had to get from here to here to here to here because of all the overnight stays I had. There was no option to not succeed. There was like, either I succeed or I fail. If I can't make one, that last kilometer, then suddenly the whole adventure's over, because I really wanted it to be a continuous loop. So I'd literally start from exactly the point where I sort of stopped the night before. So it was really, it was really scary. I was more scared about tripping over, I think, than anything else, just because that would be such an unfortunate end to the whole thing. So
yeah, and saying that, of course, we did this relatively early on in the run. So I suppose 10th day, but you've still got 2/3 to go. And if you don't want an injury on day 10. If you're going to get an injury, it should be the day after you finished the entire thing.
And I think I mean, I can't remember now, but I think we actually sort of planned it like, there's a good chance I could probably get to that. I wasn't sure if I could get all the way around, so at least we've got something filmed on that way. I was like thinking, you're better off filming then, because there's a relatively good chance I could probably get to that moment. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to sort of carry on. Yeah, yeah. No, it was crazy.
It
So,
was
how? I mean, how was your whole experience? I mean, tell me as a viewer of the whole thing how it was for you. Because I mean, I was literally just focused in doing it. I have no. It was just a blur of people coming up to me, hugging me, moving on, next bag of trash, carrying on.
Yeah, oh God, there's a lot to unpack there. Blimey. I suppose first and foremost, because obviously I'd followed the previous days because you had a live tracker going, and then you were doing live broadcasts in the evening, most evenings anyway. In fact, I don't think you missed an evening of doing a live broadcast.
No,
Um,
I was late. I was
so
late for. I think I was late for a couple, or I didn't make it to the B&B in time to start
yeah,
on a couple.
but you didn't miss one. You always did one, as
No,
far as I
I
can
always did
tell.
it. Yeah.
So so even before the day that I was there, I was in awe of the ambition of what you were doing, the coherency of what you were doing as well. That whole idea of, because from a storytelling point of view, I'm going to run around the Netherlands, literally run around the edges of the Netherlands almost, and visit all 12 provincial capitals. Um, that's a phenomenal hook. It's a brilliant. It's so easy to give somebody the shorthand of what you were doing. So that was great. The fact that you were going to do it in a banana suit, that always, and I know you pretty much always plog with a suit on, but that struck me as well. And what struck me about it is you're not going to sneak around the Netherlands this way, and that was. And I couldn't, I mean, I'm an introvert, so I would struggle. I would struggle to do that. And you make this point that, look, if you're gonna plog, if you're gonna pick up litter while you're running, you may as well make sure that people see you doing it because you're drawing attention to the problem. And I think there's a lot of valid and value in what you say there. So I was already in awe of the ambition, the fact that you weren't going to sort of go quietly into the night, if you like. This was going to be big, loud. So that was already impressive. And then the logistics behind it, because we were in touch beforehand, I
Yeah.
know the logistical organization that you had to put into getting to pull this off, and it was not insignificant. And I think that's one thing that, when you think about it, that one person actually did all of this, set it up, and was able to arrange accommodation and plan it, etc., was quite extraordinary. So it's just the scope of it, and that one person was carrying this on their shoulders. That was kind of mesmerizing, not intimidating, but it was awe-inspiring. So there was that. And then, of course, we're driving to meet you on the day. And then you're on the radio as my brother's driving me to Den Bosch. And that's kind of, oh, I know this guy, reflective glory. It's sort of, I'll stand in his shade and maybe some of the light will shine on me kind of thing. So then got to Den Bosch. And then it was clear because you could see people had congregated. So immediately then there's that sense of, well, he's reached somebody because here are people who are here waiting for him. I'm not the only one waiting for him. Now we have a mutual acquaintance, a mutual friend who had come all the way from Haarlem. Well, he
Which
lives
I
in
didn't
Amsterdam,
know.
so
I didn't know
he
that he was going to do that either. I didn't know anyone would turn up.
yeah. So I think I knew he was going to be there. I'm fairly sure I did. So I knew there was going to be one person there at least. So, but it was just this throughout the day that people would drop off and then more people would appear, which originally, when I was holding on to a faint hope that we might be able to do the script, was kind of like, oh, these people are leaving. Great. Give Paul a kilometer, let him ease into it. And then we'll talk about doing some filming and we can get the script out again. And the group of people would leave, and lo and behold, a whole flock of them would appear again. It was like, oh my God, well, this is just not happening, this filming. So that was just so impressive to see all these people appearing and switching in and out. And yeah, and just hearing, why they were there and that they knew you were doing it and they wanted to spend some time with you. I'd say most of them weren't even aware that it was your birthday, except for the people who.
No, I think well, and there was that whole group that came from Harlem where I live. Yeah, they
They
knew.
had a
They came.
cake,
They
yeah.
came with the cake and the flags and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
By
yeah.
the
And that,
by the way, I'm as much as I love them. Do not next time. Do not put balloons. I do not want balloons. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm trying to be environmentally friendly here, and you got balloons that are popping. So all the
yeah,
people, please, I loved it, but I was like, hey, oh no, not balloons.
yeah. Right, and the considerable drag factor of balloons behind you as you're running along and
Yeah.
slowing you down. No, not it. So that was really interesting. And then on a couple of occasions, people would pop up who, like the guy who had all those tins, the cans that he'd collected, and he'd sort of tracked you and made a point of rendezvousing with you. So that was all really, really impressive, and really, those are the things that stick with me. It's just the people making an effort to connect with you and what you were doing, people going out of their way to celebrate your birthday. Those were really, really nice moments and really nice things to see. Um, but also, on the other hand, it was, on some occasions, you'd run past people with your push, was a baby stroller, wasn't it?
Baby
That you
stroller,
had
yeah.
rigged up
Yeah.
with a bag for litter and a bag for tins, cans, and all the rest of it. And you'd run past them, and they wouldn't bat an eyelid. It's like,
Apart
what?
from Urk, in Urk was the only place. So there's this sort of Urk was they were scared of me. There was like literally the mothers were dragging the kids behind them to protect them from me. It was they were really scared. I was like, I've never been to that place, and I yeah. I think they would have border control if I ever tried to go back in the bananas. I think it
If
was too
you, yeah,
scary.
you try and get into Urk, and on the little welcome to Urk, it's got banned,
Yeah,
barred people,
bananas
bananas.
are banned.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody welcome except this guy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Do not let this guy near your children.
oh dear, oh dear.
But and
Um,
yeah, no, yeah.
Go on. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I was going to say one of the things actually is because there were like sort of two groups of people that I would sort of that would be running with me or join me, and it was sort of like the friends that there was that big group of friends and a couple of different points throughout the day of like, oh, I know them, they're friends, they've come, and it was like amazing. I didn't know that they were coming, but suddenly, oh, I've got them, but they were also like that guy with the cans. I have no idea who he was, that he would sort of appear. And there were other people that were running that maybe they followed me or they and just started following me and things. I didn't really know them, and that was I think there's one thing sort of knowing having this sort of big group of friends that were amazing that just really wanted to support what I was trying to do, and I love that. But equally I love the people that I had no clue who they were, and suddenly they're running 30 kilometers with me. And it was, a lot of the time they were like, oh yeah, I'll run another 10 kilometers or something along those lines.
Yeah.
The guy, I managed to get accommodation on nearly every night, apart from there were a couple of nights where I couldn't. And I really expressly did not want to have to stay at anybody's house because I wanted to be able to sort of, okay, I need to recover. I want to shut myself off. I really want to sort of go, okay, recovery time. I need to get ready for a marathon the next day. And so I deliberately wanted to have hotel rooms because I could just lock myself away and shut the world away if I wanted to. But there was one time that in fact, the day before, when we went into Den Bosch, where I ran into Den Bosch, there was a guy who just connected to me, say, do you need a place to stay? I've never met him before, and he opened his house to me. And I was like, my first question to him was, you're not a serial killer, are you? Like that was my first question to him. It was, and he was like saying, no, I'm not. And then the day before, we're 10 kilometers out and he shows up, and I'm like, that's the coolest thing. I'm like, this is just so cool, because it was a real tough moment for me. I was really struggling, and he helped me through. And all those beautiful pictures I have on my website and things, that was on the run in to his place into that stay the night before. So it was all those photos were taken on the day before. And I'm like running with him, and then I realized, oh, I think he's actually running with meeting me 10 kilometers out because he wants to make sure I'm not the serial killer. I think he just wants to make sure that I'm actually going to be okay.
Why would he think there was anything peculiar about you? I mean, you're running around in a banana suit picking up litter.
I did have. I had once the people that just did not. I managed to do the water okay. There was never really a moment where I was out. There was a couple of times I was struggling with water, but I managed to find it. But there was one time I was like going, I have no water. I really need to get water. The only thing I can find is there was no shops or anything. I was miles away from it. The only thing I can do is knock on sort of someone's door or anything like that and say, hey, could you please give me some water? So yeah, it's complete stranger in a banana suit knocks on their door, and the one that I literally spent a kilometer going, okay, I'm going to go with this one, but I didn't have the courage to do it. I was really struggling. Oh no, I'll do the next one. I was like, oh no, I'll do that. And then finally, I saw someone watering their plants and things like that, and I was like, okay, I have to do this one. And they really did not want to help me originally. They were like going, we're not going to help this guy. But eventually they did, and they just gave me the hose pipe. There you go. Just drink out of that. I was like, okay, thank you. I'm just in a banana suit. What do you think I'm going to do?
Yeah. Well, oh my goodness. So the house was broken into. Can you give a description of the person? Well, actually, he was wearing a banana. Yeah, it's not the best sort of costume to sort of go under the radar, is it?
No,
which is, I suppose.
Yeah. And how did because you weren't alone. How did your brother think about this? I mean, because he was literally just driving from place to place.
Yeah, well, he was fine because he's got a background in that sort of thing. So he
banana suits running around the country picking up litter.
Yeah, typically he would specialize in oranges. Bananas was a bit of a stretch for him. No, he used to be one of the mechanic. Bendy. He used to be a mechanic for one of the Dutch national cycle teams. I forget which discipline exactly. So. He's
in the connection with bananas.
Well, they eat a lot of bananas. It's rich in potassium and energy. And if you watch the Tour de France, they've always got a banana.
They've always got a banana in their shorts. That's it.
That's it. Well, if we were looking for a title and this were a podcast, that would be the podcast episode. They've always got a banana in their shorts. Anyway, so no, he's very practical, very logistically minded. So he knew what his role was, and his role was to drive to each of the 41 or 42 waypoints that I had that we'd actually plotted out together the day before, because we basically went on to Google Maps and said, well, could you park here? Could you get anywhere near this place? And he enjoyed himself because it meant he could just listen to the radio all day. Most of the day just sat by the side of the road on a sunny day, just enjoying himself until I got there. And it was fine. And I'd just ring him up and I'd say, I'll see you at point number 36. Or I'll see you at point number 27.
Really? So you actually had them numbered and everything?
Yeah, we had them numbered just for ease of communication, because otherwise you're sort of going, oh, where this road connects with that one, and on the corner there. No, we had them all numbered. I think we even went as far as having them add GPS coordinates and that sort of thing. So he seemed fine, absolutely fine about it. Yeah, he thought you were a bit odd, surprisingly. But boy, was I glad he was there, because my original plan was to catch the train to Den Bosch from where I was staying, which is in the far east of the Netherlands. And not inconceivable, doable, but I'm glad I didn't have to catch the train back. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I could just plonk into the front seat of a car and be driven home. So that was that. So before we forget, look, I'm really sorry. You did get lost in Belgium. How did that happen? Because we've alluded to it, and if we don't touch upon it, people are going to say, well, you told us about this getting lost. Because, well, actually, let me wrap it up into a different question. How you plotted the route every day. how did you keep on track with your route? What was your, what was the technology you were using? How did you make sure that you ended up where you wanted to be at the end of the day?
Yeah, because I mean that was a bit of a sort of a challenge because I didn't know where I was going. I don't. It's not like, oh, okay, I'll just go down. I know the place. I was in.
Mm,
I had to get from here to here. It was a bit of the whole thing. Yeah, and a lot of the route had to be adapted because originally I needed to get an overnight stay. So I was like, okay, if this is the right distance I need to do, I look for these places with an overnight stay. And then if I wasn't getting any of those hotels or B&Bs or whatever to respond to my emails, then I'd have to look outside. So then suddenly I'm like, oh, hang on, I'm 20 kilometers away from where I need to be. And so my route was very much dependent on um, on the place where I was staying, which meant that some of the routes were 70 kilometers. So a couple of the days were 70
mm,
kilometers, and that was purely because I had to get to the next B&B. The trouble is my rule was I have to do a marathon the next day. So even though I might be 20 kilometers further down the road, I still had to do a marathon. So then suddenly the next day had to be all windy. And everything. So the route was a
yeah.
bit of a nightmare. And then I'm like trying to, okay, is it a safe route? Is this actually doable, or is this a highway, or what do you use? So I ended up using Strava as being my main source um, of reference, and then I actually mainly use the cycle routes. So I
Mm.
predominantly use the cycle routes, and not all the time. And there are two options in Strava: is like the scenic route or the most direct route. And so sometimes I'd have to use a direct route. Sometimes I'd use a scenic route if I wanted to go a little bit wibbly. But then the direct route could be a little bit of a sort of a problem. Um, so the whole planning was mainly done through Strava and everything. And that part where I deviated, I mean, it was a tour around the Netherlands. It was like, yeah, and it was a real frustrating part, that whole route to Maastricht. It was like,
Mm.
okay, you kind of, the way that it goes, it's like really hooky. I was like going, I just want to go down there, and that's just going, I can cut across Belgium. It's going to like save me so much. I can get a marathon done, and I can sort of do it really nice and easily. But I was like, no, I have to go all this way around and everything. And so I finally managed to get the route, and I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I badly planned it because everything was going. Suddenly I'm having to do 31 routes quickly on Strava, get it all planned, get all the accommodation and everything. I don't know if it. I don't think it was me. I think I literally I was following Strava, but then it wasn't turn by turn navigation. It was like following a line, and I thought, oh right, the line's going. I'll cross over this bridge, and I had no clue that crossing the bridge would meant I was crossing countries. I come from England. I mean, if I cross a country, I'm going to get my feet wet. It's sort of like that. It's like, well, you cross a bridge and you're in a different country. How does that happen? I'm like running down this road and I'm looking at these signs and going, these are a bit weird. I've never sort of seen Dutch signs like this. It's a bit weird. I mean, it's still, you know, well, Flemish. It's sort of basically, I'm understanding the signs. They just look a bit different. And then I'm like going, oh my God, this must be a real tourist trap for the Belgians because all the cars have got Belgian plates. So I'm like, this is a bit weird. So I'm
Yeah.
like thinking that's a bit weird. And then I looked down. I kind of remember where it is. I was like, I'm finding more and more cans on the ground because the cool thing was I really got to see the success of the deposit system. So here we've got the can deposit system, and I really got to see that in action because across the border into Belgium, suddenly all the roads were filled with cans on the side of the road where I was so
Mm.
used to after a couple of years of the deposit system here. The cans, I still find a lot of cans, but nothing like I was getting in Belgium. Suddenly in Belgium, I'm like going can, 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 can. It's just the side of the road is littered with cans. Beer cans, which is a bit worrying on the side of the road, but never mind.
Mm.
So it's Belgium. So it was, suddenly I'm, then I sort of figured it out and I was like, oh crap, what the hell am I doing? And then I looked at the map and I went, oh, okay, well, it's just basic. I mean, like literally, it was. I'm running down this river on the wrong side of the road in Belgium, and I
Yes.
was like, thinking, oh, it's okay. I can sort of get. I sort of figured out it wasn't too bad. The problem is that whole section was boiling hot on that day, and there was no shadow. And that was one of the sort of the real tough days because not only am I in the wrong country, but there's no shadow and there was no houses. It was I was running out of, that was another moment I was running out of water. Luckily there were a couple of Dutch cyclists who gave me a bottle of water, because they were like thinking that that banana must be Dutch, so we'll help him out. So whatever the reason, they saved me. um and it was fizzy. It was fizzy water, so I was belching for the next 5 kilometers as well. I was a belching banana. So it was just going down. I was just bizarre. I was like, I'm in the wrong bloody country now. Of all, how hard is it to like stay within a country border? Well, apparently, it's really hard. All you got to do is just take one detour, cross over a bridge, and you're in a different country.
Yeah, I remember following along that day, thinking, "Where's he going? Oh, he must be
It's
crossing.
like
He
going
must be
towards
crossing.
Paris.
Yeah, he must be. Oh, he's going to cross here. He'll cross here." And I could not find a crossing um, on Google Maps. I thought, "How is he going to get across this river?" And obviously, you did eventually. But that was yes, that was
Because the
fun
other
too.
thing is, you start panicking then as well, of like, because that was the thing. It was like, okay, I've got a real set route that means that when I get there, I've done my marathon to as close as I can to a marathon. Any detour means I'm going to be running further. So it's suddenly I'm like, the panic that sets in is like, oh, how much is this going to cost me? And you might think, oh,
Mm.
it only costs you 5 kilometers, but the last thing you want to do is go from 42 kilometers to 47 kilometers. Those
Oh
those
yeah.
last kilometers are really tough.
Mm.
So I was a bit in a panic mode. You're sort of like going, "Oh God, what's this going to cost me?" In the end, I don't think it cost me too much, a few kilometers, but not too much, because it was literally just the Dutch side, the Belgium side of the river. But there was it was, yeah. And again, I'm running on not on a highway, but on a sort of quite a fast road as well, thinking, "Oh my God, am I allowed to run here?" And everything. I was like going, "I'm just going to go the quickest route I can." But there was so much trash there. It was shocking. That was the one time when I mean, yeah, in Rotterdam, Amsterdam, things like that, there was so much trash. You have to keep them going. But there, I actually had to make the decision of not picking up more trash because I already had two full bags on my buggy. I didn't have room for
Mm.
any more, and I could have literally spent all day. It would have taken me hours if I really wanted to make a dent in what was on the side of the road, just because it was just cans. So yeah, that was a real sort of shocker.
That's incredible. Actually, and also you were doing it wearing a banana suit, so on a very hot day, so that must have added to the concern as well that you're just overheating maybe in this suit. I don't know you know, whether it ventilates very well that way. And I know you had two that you'd alternate, wear one every other day. Um,
Yeah,
which
that was
brings me to my
didn't breathe very well. It was definitely the wrong one on that day.
oh my God, it was the heavy, thick winter one.
Yeah, and and
Uh,
and I and I have this rule of, I am so stubborn. It is sort of like, I will not run 1 meter unless I'm in full banana suit. So it's not even a case of, I won't even sort of take the hood off to let the air out, the hot air out.
mm,
It is, if I walk forward, I have to have the banana suit on. Otherwise, I feel it's like cheating. Um, so it was, yeah, it, it wasn't. I can't say there was any in the whole adventure. I can't say that there was any one moment where I was like, I can't go. Well, the, well, I'm not going to say that. No, there were some tough times,
mm.
but there
I,
was never a moment where I said, right, I cannot wear this banana suit at all.
yeah.
So
Well, it must have, because there must have, as you say, there must have been tough times because you're running so many marathons, on occasion an ultra marathon, on the back of a marathon, on the back of an ultra marathon the day before. I mean, even the banana suit, one of the banana suits itself caused you to make a deviation in your routes to accommodate visiting one of the people. And I don't know how many kilometers you ran that day, but if you were going to go from where you were to where you need
72 kilometers.
72, yeah. So
because I got lost as well. I got lost. There was a road.
Did you end up in
closed,
Belgium?
So there was that was one of the ones where I had to do my live stream while I was still getting to the place. It was there was a road closed. The Dutch system. Oh, I had that a few times. It was sort of you'd go it just takes a road closure, and then that can mean suddenly you've got an extra 5 kilometers. Because Strava wasn't showing, it was just saying, look, people, this is where people normally go. And a lot of these back places, I'm not saying back places, but a lot of these are more rural places, people know that there are roadworks there. They deviate. There's no signs up saying where you need to go. There's that was actually the biggest hurdle was when I hit a roadblock was to figure out how to navigate around it because there were no real signs a lot of the time of doing it. There was a classic. I literally spent a couple of kilometers going down this route it said road closed. And I was like, but I saw all these cars going down and trucks going down. I was thinking, I must be able to go. It didn't really sort of give me any alternative to go this way instead. And I was like, looking, if I do, then it's going to cost me a lot of extra time. And this big work truck just went down past, saw me get, I'm there going on this route, and this truck goes past me, and then I catch up with it after a couple of kilometers, and he goes, "No, you can't come down here. It's road closed." And I'm like going, dude, you could have stopped me 2 kilometers back and made me turn around. And he just waits until I catch up with him after a couple of kilometers. Yeah, no, you can't get around here. You've got to go all the way back. So it was that was actually the biggest hurdle was getting around the roadblock. So and sort of trying to find it. I think that happened sort of 4 or 5 times. There was one time when it was just too much, and I was just like begging the guys. It was a road work. They just resurfaced the road, but it looked completely empty. It'd all been done and everything. And I was there with Eric, the guy that came up with the word plogging, and I'm with him, and I was struggling on that day. That was the day where I actually had a pain in my leg, and it was the toughest day as well. It was the minimum distance I was going to do was 70 plus. So I really did not have the energy to go beyond, and my leg was starting to hurt and everything. And the detour would have been a real nightmare. So we got to this roadwork, and there's just one that, like that typical, like that person that's hired to direct traffic, and all he's doing all day is sitting by his car doing nothing. Then when comes up, he goes, "No, you got to go turn back." And that's all he did. He was like, he said, "No, you can't go." And I was like, dude, I'm running around the country. I could see that the road is all clear. There's nothing going on. There's nothing happening at all. Can I not just go down there? And he was like, no. Eric's trying to convince him. I'm trying to convince him. Eventually, what happened was we convinced him enough. And I said, dude, I'm in a banana suit. Take me serious. And he called the supervisor, and the supervisor. They had a long conversation. Eventually, I think we just wore them down. They went, "Oh, for God's sakes, just go down there." But they said, "Just do not go near the edge because it's still soft." So so we were like really being careful. We got to the end, and the supervisor at the end, and he gives me a banana. He goes, "There you go." I was like. And with a big grin, and I'm like going, seriously, I'm a bloody banana. Why are you giving me a banana? All the bananas I got. Please, people, do not give me a banana. Give me an apple.
There you are. It's a lesson to be learned. If you see Paul out, do not give him a banana. It only triggers him. Every time he looks in the mirror, he gets triggered. Bananas.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh my gosh.
and it's just, but it was so, I mean, it was so sweet. Every time I got a banana, I was like, it is so sweet that they're doing this. I really do not want to eat this banana.
Yeah.
I cannot face this banana. I cannot face one more banana. Please do not give me a banana. You've got a bag of something. You're coming at me. You want to give me something. Please don't let it be a banana. Oh, it's a bloody banana.
Oh no.
I don't
So
like
was that
bananas.
you don't like bananas?
No,
Goodness
I
me.
don't like. I not raw bananas. I'm not a raw
What
banana fan. I'll
what
eat them,
what
but
so what is it that made you choose the banana suit in the first place? Just out of
it was
curiosity.
just it was just a running company, Brooks. They had something with banana suits, so they were doing every time they did an event, they had a banana suit on, and they said to me at one shoe launch, "Do you want to wear the banana suit?" And I said, "I will if I can keep it." So that got me in a banana suit. And then, in fact, the first day, I should have actually foreseen what sort of trauma this would cause me. So I've got this banana suit on, and we're running on. We're in Portugal, running on this rock on the cliffs, and I'm just like having fun with the banana suit and everything like this, having a lot of fun. And then there was, okay, we need to get there. There's a nice gentle path that goes down, and people were like saying we'll go down that path. And I said, but I can go down here. They went, no, it's too steep. I said, I'll go down there. It's easy. So I'm in a banana suit going down this steep cliff down, and at the bottom there's a car park. I'm jogging down where I'm jogging, and then I realize I'm gaining speed, and I'm accelerating more than my feet can keep up. So I'm leaning into I'm like going down like this, and it's getting more and more angled. I'm almost like horizontal, trying to go. My legs cannot accelerate to get under me. I'm like literally,
Ah,
I'm just plummeting down towards this car park, and before the car park there's this bush and everything, and I'm just like going, I'm just going to face plant here. I'm running down to this bush, and I can see this family getting out of their car, just seeing this banana running down the hill out of control towards the car park, and and I just go flying into this bush, and the kids are like, ah! And in Portuguese, and they're like, I think they're like saying, "Oh my God, what's that banana doing?" Or "Is that banana alive?" Or "Can we make some banana bread?" I don't know what they're saying. Whatever it is, they're like screaming, and then they get quiet because all they hear is just me laughing. This bush starts laughing, and I'm just like, it was just luckily I wasn't injured. I was covered in grazes and everything. I should have realized that was sort of about, the first time I wear a banana suit, I have like just some weird experience that I should have realized banana suits are not for me. An orange would have been good. I would have rolled down. A banana, you're screwed.
yes, you are. It's yeah. You've got very little. Exactly. So
Yeah.
banana suits. So was that the? I was just trying to think. So you had long runs. You had painful runs. Was there any point where you actually thought, "I'm not sure I'll be able to get up tomorrow to do my next run. I'm not sure this is going to happen now."
There was just one day. I think that actually surprised me more than anything. Is there was never really there were, yeah, I mean, there were a few things that happened that really got me worried, or I'm like, oh, I've got a pain in my leg and things like that, and yeah, so there were moments where I was like thinking something bad's going to happen, but the worst one was on the real tough long day near the end, which was 70 kilometers again. And I I was done. My body was destroyed. Yeah, that was the one with the guy at the roadworks. So that
Mm,
was the same thing. I got
mm,
there and I was destroyed. I did the live stream, and the only thing I could do was walk to the bed. That was the only thing I could do, and I was hobbling. I could barely walk to the bed and get in the bed. I got on the bed, got my recovery boots on, So I have the sort of massage recovery boots from Black Roll. Sponsor plug placements. Yeah, Black Roll. There you go. But yeah, they were fantastic. I'd have those on, these recovery boots that were like doing compressing me and massaging me in the morning and evening. And so I put those on. I ordered pizza. Luckily, Eric was with me, and he just sort of went and got the pizza and brought it to the bed. And I'm like, and then the next day, I got up and ran a marathon. I don't know how. I really do not know how. I think it was a combination of the fact that, if I'm being honest, because I'm vegan, that means I recover a lot quicker. For me, it works really well. But I think the Black Roll boots as well that I had on were really good. And I had recovery shakes straight away. As soon as I finished every day, I had a recovery shake. The big thing on every day is not can you do the marathon, is can you recover quick enough to do the next marathon. That's the most important thing. And and I really do not know how I got up the next day, and straight away I'm on the TV, on the radio. I've got like an interview at 8:30 in the morning the next day, and they want to do some filming and like that, and I'm all fine. I don't understand how I managed to do that. It blows my mind what the body can do when you put your mind to it.
That is quite remarkable. And just on the food thing, I mean, it's not vegan athletes exist. There's a footballer called Hector Bellerin, professional footballer. He was vegan. Somebody like Rich Roll, who's an ultra athlete in the US, he's vegan, and that's all fine if you can find vegan food. So were you able to feed yourself
Domino's pizza? Literally.
And I'm guessing not the pepperoni pizza.
No, they have like this vegan one. So there's quite a few times I had a Domino's vegan pizza, but then it'd be like two pizzas. I'd have two pizzas, or I'd go into the restaurant that was the coolest thing, was to sort of go into the restaurant and say, look at the menu and say, oh, I'd like to have the pasta, whatever, and I'd like to have, I just sort of choose two vegan options and just say, yeah, can I have those? And they go, oh, is the person coming to join you? What should we do? And I said, no, just bring both of them. They're for me. I'll be like, because I've been just, I used to do it deliberately just to freak them out. I said, no, just bring both now. Thank you.
I'm presuming you're not actually in your banana suit at this point, sitting there saying, no, bring them for me. One for me, one for my friend here.
No, but I was, because I had to carry all my stuff. That buggy was full. I mean, it was quite heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course. It was. Yeah. I got to push it for like a kilometer and then had to give up on a very slight incline.
Did you give up?
Yeah,
hang on. I can't remember this. When you said you gave up, did you actually give up and give it to me, and I had to push it up for you?
Yeah. Yeah. No, Paul. Actually, it was the handover so that I could film you pushing the buggy along the main drag into Eindhoven. It was all pre-planned. Had nothing to do with my week.
You really went, oh, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. You can bloody push it.
Yeah. It's getting a bit hard now. I'll give it to Paul. I mean, Paul, I'd cycled quite a bit that day, I mean, give me a break. Now, I'm not an ultra athlete like you are, but anyway, yes, I had to say to you, look, you can have this back now.
I can't even remember that. I can't remember that. Oh my god! You see, you caught me. You caught me at the end of the day where I've got no brain at all left. I'm like, okay, I'll take
it. Exactly. This is if you ever want Paul to sign a dodgy contract, that's the moment to do it. That's the time of day. Catch him at the end of one of his long plogs. But yes, so that was. I mean, that was a hell of a day just for me to experience it, knowing that I was only going to have to do the one day, knowing also that I was going to do the vast majority of it on a bicycle. So like I say, the fact that you then did it the next day, did it 21 more times after that day was just insane. So the question that I have for you is, how do you top that? I mean, that is a hell of an adventure.
Yeah, you saw that the time's coming up to an hour, so we're gonna have to sort of round it up soon. And you're like going, okay,
Oh, it
we've
is
not
as well.
talked about the next one. Yeah,
It
because
is as
my
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can yeah, my when I so I've been, what is great about this year, so 2026 is this is my 15th anniversary as a plogger. So
Mm.
in on the 29th September 2011, I picked up trash and made a tweet about it, and I call that my first day of plogging. Um, and to and I it just sort of grew naturally, sort of my account and what I was doing, a bit like your account as well. I mean, we got to find each other through sort of litter picking and everything like that. And
Mm.
yeah, to make sure I have to put your accounts and everything in the description.
I
So
actually
you're gonna have to start
remember.
doing it more.
I remember. Ah, well, yes. No. So I remember how we met was I put up. So I plog as well, nowhere near the level Paul plogs. And what I would do is I would photograph every piece of litter that I picked up and catalog it, which was just
Just as creative.
ridiculous.
No,
Yeah,
just
I
but
know,
so
but
creative.
oh my God, but such a pain in terms of time consuming. So I don't do that anymore. Now I just measure and weigh what I collect. But I do remember putting up a post at the time, and you jumped in, and it was a piece of styrofoam. You know those pieces of styrofoam, and they're made up of these individual little balls. And you basically said, well, that one piece is like picking up 1,000 pieces, because of course those balls, they will detach from each
Oh,
other.
did I? Oh, I was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, you were. And then you also made the comment that the photographs I put up, which I sort of grouped together in groups of 15 or 16 or whatever it was, you'd say, oh, this is quite the anthropological study of what is being thrown away, which is ironic, or coincidental rather, because I'm trained as an anthropologist, but that's by the by. Anyway, so that's why it sticks in my memory. Anyway, sorry, we've deviated to me. This
Oh
is
yeah,
not the
so yeah,
point. So yes, so
yeah,
Paul,
yeah.
you.
So see, I'll do anything to avoid talking about my next challenge. So, but I mean,
It is
so
that scary and ridiculous.
yeah. So we knew each other for quite a quite a long time, but more importantly, so well, not more importantly, but in terms of my own story, I was just getting more and more into it, and I was going more and more crazy, and really, it was really consuming. I was doing these posters every weekend that would
Mm-hmm.
literally take a whole Saturday every day for a few years, just doing it every Saturday, and it became my whole life really outside of work. As soon as I finished work, it would be doing that. My family just didn't see me at all, and I was just so focused on that. I always said, if I can do all of this in my free time, imagine what I could do if it was my full time. And so when I went professional in 2024, sort of mid end of 2024, I sort of said to myself, right, each year I have to go bigger and better. And on my bucket, I've got a bucket list of all these items, and one of them was to plog around the Netherlands. And so I sort of did that last year. It evolved. It was going to be the border of the Netherlands, but I realized no one would ever see me if I'm just going through the hedgerow. And I'm not very good at borders anyway, so I would probably end up in Belgium for most of the day anyway. So I'm glad I didn't do that. So I changed that into the 12 Steden plog, going to every province, every capital city, and every province in the Netherlands. And so that sort of turned into this one. So the idea is this year I have to go bigger. So what is bigger than 31 marathons in a row? Well, 31. What's bigger than 31? 40. What is bigger than a marathon? An ultra marathon. So the idea this year is called Run for Promises. And the idea is I will be doing 40 ultra marathons. So I'm actually going to be doing exactly, or this shows you how stupid I am. I'm going to be doing 50.6 kilometers every day. If I go, I will not do less. If I go over, I will actually stop my watch and just cut it off, and I just lose that. So those won't be recorded, so they don't count. So if I could end up doing 60 kilometers, it doesn't count. I would be only recording 50.6, because the idea is then in 40 days, I've done 2026, so 2026 kilometers in total. So it's bigger in terms of days, it's bigger in terms of distance, and it's going to be in the banana suit. It's going to be more based at sort of around home. It's going to be more based. I'll be just running from here, unless a sponsor says, "Oh, come and do 50, you're 50.6 kilometers in Leda," then I'll go and do it there. So a sponsor is a bit more. Companies can sponsor me for a day, and then I would go and sort of do something with them on that day, but it has to be 50.6 in the banana suit picking up trash. The tough thing about that people don't realize is that it's a home. That's actually the toughest element, is the fact that I'm going to be at home. Whereas people think that's going to be the easiest element. When I did last year, the all I was just had one focus. That was run, recover, sleep, run, recover, sleep. That was my sole focus. I had nothing else, no distractions. It's at all. Yeah, it was just like, I'm doing this, and that was it. I wasn't at home or anything like this. Now I'm at home, and it'd be like, oh, I just put some washing on. I didn't bother with washing. Couldn't do washing, so most of the time I was in clothes that hadn't been washed. I think I think my clothes got washed about 3 times in the whole thing. So
oh my God.
you could actually see the sweat marks. You could actually see, they were like tree rings. They were like salt marks of like, okay, this is day 1, day 2, day 3. It was like that. So the tough
thing along, say, what day is it?
And so that actually is the toughest thing. The toughest thing I've ever done has actually been a lot less, and that was corning an accumulator. So every day in February, this is years ago, I did sort of whatever the date was in kilometers plogging. So 1st of February 1 kilometer, 2nd of February 2 kilometers. So it'd be like that. But then at the end of the day, end of the month, you're doing 27 kilometers, 28 kilometers. It doesn't sound like a lot, but the trouble is I was doing that while I was working. So I'd have to get up at 3 a.m. to do that. And you're doing it around, that was, I think that was I was closer to quitting on that than I was last year. And so the thing that scares me is the fact that I'm not going to be just focused going around the country on my own little route. I'm going to be at home. That's going to be the toughest thing. But it's called a run for promises, because what I did last year, I don't like to run to raise money. I love that people do. I love, seeing these things. I've seen some crazy things already this year, raising millions of euros, millions of pounds, or whatever, for charity. I think it's brilliant. For me, I have a view of I don't want people to give me money for my charity. I want you to continue to give money to the charity that you believe in, not what I believe in. That's sort of my philosophy on charity runs personally. So I won't run for charity. So what am I going to run for? And one of the things that really sort of brought me, I've always been sort of trying to champion, is the fact that trash for me, picking up trash isn't necessarily about the trash. It's a positive story about you having an action, you doing something simple as picking up a piece of trash, and suddenly that's a positive action that tells a positive story. And so what I'm doing is, this is going to be called a run for promises, because what I want to do is, I don't want to raise money. I want to raise promises, acts of kindness. So the idea is that people will be able to go on a website. We'll have a website where they can just register a promise. There's an act of kindness that's for people, not against people, or for the community, or for the environment. It could be picking up a piece of trash where you walk the dog, or it could be, I'm going to volunteer at a soup kitchen. I'm going to volunteer at a club running event, or I'm going to help my neighbor who's fallen sick, and I'm going to just cook them a meal. It doesn't want to matter. Smile at a stranger, something as simple as that. I just want to flood the world with positive stories, because one of the things that's really made me, this year is just, I mean, doom scrolling. I don't even think doom scrolling is something that you can avoid now. I don't think you can go on the internet without seeing trauma, without
Mm.
seeing hardship, without seeing something negative. And I want to turn that. I want to give people positive stories. And I'd love to sort of, for me, what I'd love to have is sort of like what, a brand that comes on and says, let's film something. I've been pitching this to brands already. Is like, I don't know if you remember, what is the Meg Ryan orgasm scene in the restaurant? What's that
When
one
Harry
called?
Met Sally.
Yeah, yeah. So
I think I'm guessing here.
how they're all together, but one of the things they have is they have these talking heads of people just telling their
Yes.
relationship stories,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just want to have that. I want to have people on screen just saying, "I promise," and their act of kindness. That's all I
Mm.
want. I don't want.
Mm.
I don't want to inspire people to pick up traffic. I want people to do something that's kind to someone or something. That's it. So that's that, and that starts in, yeah. Oh, why not do it in the middle of summer as well? In a banana suit. So I'm
Because
doing it in August the 7th to September the 15th. So I'm doing it in like just the worst time as well. I
why make it easy, right?
One of my mottos is why, is like why, one is why make it easy when you can make it hard, and
Mm.
the other one I live by is what can I do to make it harder. So I just go through my life. The best thing I can do is like come up with an idea and do it straight away, because then I know that it doesn't get any crazier. Now I've got 3 months. I guarantee you it will be what I've told you now is going to get tougher by the time it starts, because I will be thinking up more stupid things to do during it.
Well, I'm very curious to see what you come up with. I'm very curious to witness what people say. The acts of kindness that people come up with, the things that they commit to. I'm very curious to see
Yeah.
what happens
I,
there. It's
I
a
yeah,
beautiful
and
thought.
yeah,
Um,
I exactly. I just want it to be. I want to have people coming on. I don't care how many you do. If you do five or every day, I mean, how wonderful it would be if someone comes on. They do a different promise every day. It could be
mm,
today. I'm going to open the door for a stranger. Tomorrow, I'm going to say thank you to the cashier. It could be every day they come up with a different promise. And if people read the promises, they kind of go, oh, that's a cool one. I want to do that one as well. And you can infect, it can be an infectious promise that suddenly your promise suddenly becomes something that other people are doing as well. How cool would that be? You've not just done an act of kindness, you've made it an infectious act of kindness.
mm. Plogging for positivity. There you go. I mean, that
Yeah.
is how great is that?
But
Obviously, we
but hang on, I'm gonna stop there, because we've spent the whole time, we've not really talked about the film too much, because I just want to like say how wonderful it is. I think what you've created is, I mean, it just appeals to our British heritage and humor. I think
yes.
for me, it's got so many elements of Monty Python and things like that. It just Monty Python goodies. I can see so many elements in there that I grew up with that I absolutely love. And what I think is so beautiful about it, it is just like there is not a plogging video film like that. And I think that's what you've created. And I'm so grateful for that. You've created
Well,
something that is different instead of, oh, what good job we're doing. This has humor in it, but it tells a story.
Well, thank you very much. I'm one of these people who finds it very difficult to accept compliments, but at the same time, I think you and I both agreed from the very beginning we don't want to do something, because that's what the script was all about. The script was how can we make this different, that it's not just another film about plogging, that there's something to it. And you and I share a sort of a British background. Ironically, we also share some Dutch heritage. But yes, that sense of humor shines through and not everybody would have said, yeah, let's do this. You know, and that's. I know you once said to me, do not underestimate how stupid I am willing and how silly I am willing to make myself look to get attention to what I'm doing. That is just, you know, what a great thing to be working with, that kind of enthusiasm. Anyway, I think you are holding very
we've been
still.
talking so long. I've literally just seen we've got some chat messages in. Did you look at the chats at all? We were
Oh,
just
I did
talking.
not. Oh no, we were just yabbering away. Oh no, it's
I've
the
got
chat.
Fede de Jong. It's like say something to me. Hello,
Oh
hello.
my God.
He has a banana. And
Oh dear.
Bert saying, yeah, totally agree. Very dry humor. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're just like chatting so much.
I know. Oh,
It's because we're doing a StreamYard. I hope it came across all right, but it was like, oh man.
oh dear.
I've
We've
like
broken the
completely
cardinal sin. We committed the cardinal sin of entertainers. We've ignored our audience.
who?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I know
Freeloaders.
freeloaders. Oh, I feel really guilty now. Oh no.
And here ends Paul and my lecture on how not to do a live stream and how to build your audience.
Oh, I never told you. Luckily I got through. I did before we came on live. I forgot to. I said I was going to tell you something that might actually mean that I faint or collapse or throw up on live stream on
Oh
live on
yes, yeah.
stream.
Go on then. Do
Because
both. Do both. Why not? Go for it.
I treated because it was my birthday yesterday. I treated myself to a present of I've got gym membership, and I chose a gym membership, the local one. Um, uh, I'm deviating. The thing is, they've got like a little coffee area. So I had a really nice sauna. I did my run, and one of the things is because it's got a sauna. So I went to have a really nice sauna, felt really nice and like that. And I went down, and I went downstairs, and I thought they've got a coffee area. You can have like a drink and everything like that. I'll just relax and decompress before I sort of come here and do this thing. So I was literally in the coffee place. I'd never been in there before.
So
So it's like you're in a strange environment. You're like, are these drinks free or not? And I was like, I don't have the confidence enough to. I'm like, I'm not going to pay for a coffee that's like from a crappy machine. So I thought I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get something to some water or something like that. And so I saw a tap, and so I oh God. So I saw a water tap. I thought, oh, that's great. And there was a glass in a tray, all these glasses in a tray upside down. So I just literally just took one of the glasses and poured myself a water. And then I just go down and sit, and I'm just doing my emails and everything like that, just having a really nice fun, thinking the water tastes a bit funny. But I'm not going, oh, it's just water. It's probably just like that. Not thinking any more of it. And then the receptionist comes out, and the tray that I took the glass from, she just picked it up and then put it in the washing machine, in the dishwasher. I have no idea whose glass or what was in that glass was, but I was literally just using someone else's glass to have my water from, and it did taste funny. So I have no idea. This could be.
oh dear.
But,
Well, I mean,
but there are all these other people there. I'm like going, did no one see me just doing this, or did they see me and they're going, what the hell is that guy doing? He's weird. He's like just
yeah.
using someone else's glass.
He's almost as weird as the guy who runs around in a banana suit. My God. Yeah, I think somebody just pointed out what coffee place. He's suggesting. I think Berta is suggesting that you weren't actually in a gym. You may have actually been in a coffee shop.
It was. And Bert knows this. This was actually a gym next to me, and it is the reason I chose it is because it's so close. They got a special offer on the moment, so I'm being nice and cheap, but it is literally the catchment area is like I'm just right on the border of a really rich area, and so the catchment area is retired people that come and do their gym there. I went to do the intake this morning to sort of sign up, and I go into, and well, I have to do an intake, so I'm being guided around by a trainer. You know, I'm 59 years old. We open up they open up the door, so right, this is the gym area, and I'm looking around. I'm going, I'm the youngest person here. I'm like I'm seriously and the other thing was that the person that was showing me around, she was considerably older than me. I'm going to this gym because I am the youngest person. Now I'm thinking, was that glass holding Steradent and false teeth in it for a while?
God, stop. Oh, dearie me.
It did taste a bit funky, the water.
Oh, dear. Right. So bring your own water next time. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2, just don't do that again. Don't drink unidentified fluids out of cups. Oh, dearie me. I don't know.
Just seeing this woman pick up the tray and then just put it in the dishwasher was just like, I was just so horrified. I was like, oh my God, that's where I took the glass from.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me. Right. Well,
so on that, I think we have to call it quits there.
Well, we're not going to top that, are we? We should knock it on.
It looked a bit like this. The water looked a bit like this.
Hang on, if you hold yours up. Hold yours up.
Yeah, it says the guy that's drinking out of a jam jar.
So,
okay.
Anyway.
Roger, thank you so much
Cheers,
for making
Paul.
this film. I mean, this is I am just so I see now. Hang on, as soon as I talk about drinking water out of like someone's cup, we suddenly have all these people joining, going live. Suddenly we've got more viewers. So
there's actually a
like
question.
Going, God, you've got to jump onto this. He might not be alive tomorrow.
Right, here we go. There is a question.
Is there?
Yes. What was the most memorable thing / moment of this project? Well, I think it was something I alluded to earlier on, just seeing the warmth and the attention that Paul got on the day that people were just giving up their Saturday to run with him. I thought that was really, really impressive. The scope of the project, which I've also touched upon, and I'm a storyteller. That's what I do professionally, and I just loved the concept of being able to say "Twaalf steden plog," with what that means in the Netherlands. If you're listening from outside the Netherlands or you're watching this, that ties in with something called the Elfstedentocht, I think, which is a long distance skating race that's never going to be held again in the Netherlands, and until the Amok collapses. But let's not go down that route. Anyway, so it's a long distance skating race that goes around 11 cities. So for Paul to do a 12 city plog ties in with that. But from a storytelling point of view, that is such brilliant shorthand. And I that really stood out for me as well. Paul's willingness to do all the things that I asked him to do, even when he was very tired. I mean, the list is endless, really. The positivity of the day, fantastically positive day as well. I don't think there was a moment of negativity that whole day. Everything was just wonderful. People were happy, lots of smiles. Oh, it was just great. Even Paul going into a whiskey shop, where we thought, oh, there's maybe a joke here. We'll see if Paul can go into a shop and whether he can have the loan of 2 bottles of whiskey just to do a little thing.
I went into that whiskey shop again, but around Christmas time. There's a charity event where they sort of people, the radio hosts go lock themselves into a glass house and do a broadcast for charity, and it was held there. And I was just plugging, and I was just plugging. I was just running along, and I went, "Oh my God, that's a whiskey shop!" I went in there in my banana suit, and they went, "Oh, it's you."
You still owe us for those 2 bottles.
Oh yeah,
remember you. Yeah. So it was just a standout, fabulous day from start to finish, and I've got so many clear memories of the day, which I think just for me proves that it was a brilliant day. All right.
I think
We should
for
scroll
me,
back just in case there are any other
yeah,
questions.
for me, the sort of I think, I mean, they're just two. Yeah, every day was a highlight. There was one of the nice things I did was the live stream, because it gives me a chance to go back and remember. You know, if I were ever to write a book or whatever about it, then I've got the live streams as a memory point, because each day there was something a truly incredible that happened every day. I think for this, with this project about it, is just I was I, 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 it just, I don't know how to sort of frame it. From everything about this was just wonderful. So working with you, and you know, the fact that it's just going so wrong of what our plan was. I mean, I just, it blew. It was, I was so confident there would not be anyone joining us for that day. And I said, oh, and coincidentally, it's my birthday or whatever. You know, I had like, oh, I can go here. We can really spend some time filming this scene. It was just how everything evolved into that day. I think was, I felt really guilty. I'm like going, oh my God, this is completely off script now. But I'm really thrilled with the
We
result.
got
And
something. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think I put up a post to say the film was improvised in the edit, which is basically what happened. But now we have
what
the
have we
film.
got? What can we make?
Yeah. And unfortunately, there was plenty. There was plenty. So yeah, and we had to leave out some really good bits. So I need to do a little reel of things that we left out, because there was some fun stuff. We should probably knock it on the head
I
before
think we should. I think we
StreamYard
bored everyone.
collapses. Yeah.
It's done. StreamYard's done really well. I'm really, really impressed. I
It
have
has.
to use this more often. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very good. All right,
Thank you
then.
so much, Roger. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you very much, Paul.
Cool.
It's been an honor. All right, man. Take
You're
care.
coming
Oh,
to
and
join
thank
me.
you to say again.
I know. I was going to say, are you going to come? You know, my next one's going to be in Iceland. You're going to come and do that one.
In Iceland. Oh, yes, please.
Oh,
Absolutely.
really? Okay.
Yeah, we'll sort that out. I've half a mind to come to the Netherlands in August, but we shall
You're
see.
more than welcome. Just don't expect.
Just don't expect you to cooperate in any form or shape.
Yeah. Just no script.
We should thank Bert and Feder for joining us. I can see at least two people who've taken the time.
I told you not to do that, because then it makes like people, like there were like two people that joined us the whole thing. I told you not to do that.
Oh yeah. And all the other people that I can see in the live stream, all 21 million of you. Yeah. Thank you for joining.
Exactly. I won't
read out more than 2
Dennis
names.
and Jasper and Diedrich and Iris, and I think it's all, yeah, the list goes on. Sorry, I can't thank everyone that joined. Okay, I'm going to close this down now. What is the site? How can people find you?
How can people find me?
Isn't that what they say on these things?
They do. Yes, they do. You can find me. If you Google my name, Roger Overall, I am not hard to find. I'm really not hard to find.
We will find you. We will.
Oh my God. I have to ask you. Sorry. Oh God, this is going to be the longest. We've been trying to end this podcast for like half an hour. You said to me, ask me about the lights. This is the last thing we're going to talk about, the lights. You said, ask me why I've got lights on in the background.
Oh, no,
Paul, why have you got lights on in the background?
It is literally so that they know that, because it is literally the landing that goes to the bathroom. So yeah, it could sometimes sort of my wife. Oh, I shouldn't say it. No, it's just to avoid people coming in naked.
Right. Because tune in next week.
Why did you make me say that?
I did not make you say that. That came out of you, of your own volition. Basically, you've got a very posh on-air sign that people know. Paul is on air. Don't walk in. Don't walk in like that Korean toddler did in the middle of a BBC interview a few years ago, which was brilliant. Anyway.
I did used to do this though. With I had a little remote control here that because I've been working at home for decades, and so I'd have a little remote control that had a different light. It was like literally an on-air light that they knew they couldn't go in if the lights were on. So it's something that's just adapted from years of doing working from home. It's a really easy way of someone knowing, oh, well, hang on, we can't disturb him.
Hmm.
And then I realized it's easy. Yeah, yeah, exactly. or they lock the door. I see the light's just gone on. See, my light's just gone on. Oh, it just went into the toilet. I'm gonna close down before you hear the toilet flush.
Do. Bye, Paul. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye, mate.
Bye.